tell her like, hey, mom, guess what? I quit my job. It's always a challenge to tell your parent that you want to do anything that they probably wouldn't have expected you to do in the first place, whether it was to drop out of college or whether it was to move to a different city, marry a guy or date a guy that they didn't approve of, or whatever the case may be. It's always difficult to tell your parent anything, really. And for me personally, it was difficult to tell my mom that I wanted to quit my job and travel the world. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried to ignore this for as long as I could. I never told my mom about any of the trips that I took prior to this whole, big change of me quitting my job and to live in a different country. Like whether it was to take a trip to, I don't know, Atlanta, which is about like only 8 hours from where I am right now, or anything really. I just never wanted to tell her because I was always sheltered as a child. I was never allowed to do anything but go to school, come home. In high school, I was in a couple after school programs, and even then it was such a hassle to tell my mom that, oh yeah, I'm volunteering after school at the football game. I'll be in the concession stand. And even then, she never really believed me. She thought, I would probably become, I don't know what she was thinking, but because I've always been a good child. My grades were always good. I was like top 10 in my class. So I never gave her a reason to ever, doubt me. But in the back of her head, she always, wanted to make sure that I stayed on the right track. And to her, the right thing to do was, to keep me sheltered. And I appreciate that she wanted me to stay focused, but it kind of took a toll on me. Growing up, I felt that I could never do anything. I had to always, have my head in the books, was never allowed to really have friends. I actually lied about my best friend, who happened to be a guy, and told her that he was gay just so that she wouldn't think that I was trying to get a boyfriend or trying to be fast in high school and all that jazz. So that being said, I never really wanted to have to deal with that, to lie. So I opted out just not to tell her about any of my trips that I've done. I mean, I know it's bad. I've been to Taiwan and I didn't even tell her that I was gone. I was gone for about 2 weeks, and I mean, I'm 30 years old and I fear to tell my mom about any of these things. So you can imagine when I decided to quit my job to travel the world, that I probably wouldn't have a easy time telling my mom. Now, I love my mom to death. I really do. And I really wanted to share this with her about my new plans and what I'm deciding to do. As soon as I turned 30, I knew that this is something that I had to do. If I didn't do it now, then I would never get the opportunity to do it, because I would just, put it on the back burner and wait until the time was right. But then I realized the time was never right. So I just wanted to go. And I decided to finally tell my mom about it. And when I told her that I quit my job and I'm planning on leaving the country, she didn't believe me, for one. And she thought I was lying or kidding or joking. And every time we would talk on the phone and I would bring it up just to like let her know, hey mom, like, yeah, I have like about, I don't know, 6 more months before I'm leaving, and all that jazz. And she would go like, you're still talking about that? You're not going. Don't talk about that. That's not gonna happen. Like all the time. So every time I would talk on the phone with her and I would try to like have this discussion about like what I'm doing and my plans, she would just blow it off. And then she would go on and use this line. This was her favorite line. Well, who's gonna take care of me when you're gone if you're in a different country? There's all these things going on in the other side of the world. Why do you want to go? It's not safe, blah blah blah. Like, you're my baby, you're my only child. Like, what if something happens? Who's gonna, who's gonna take me to the hospital? Like, all these things to make me feel so guilty, right? And I'm like, well, Mom, first of all, if I'm gonna go, I should go now because you're still in your prime, right? And it's only gonna be a year. Look how fast this year has gone. It's already August. I mean, before you know it, I'll be back already. This whole time that you're trying to convince me to stay, it'll be here already, and I'll already be back. So, and I get it. My mom is worried. Like, parents get worried about their kids, especially if it's something that that they've never done or they're not used to, or anything of that nature. And I understand. But I'm like, Mom, you raised a really smart girl. I'm not going to be naive. I'm going to do my research and make sure that I am safe. And all the places I'm going to, they are safe. And honestly, they're safer than here in the United States. And that's so sad. And I know she's just being, my mom, and she's being worried and all that stuff. But every time that we would talk on the phone and she would just, kind of brush it off and stuff. Like, I really wanted her support. I really wanted her to, be excited with me, for me, and every time, sorry, it was just, difficult not having my mom's support in this journey that I was wanting to take. So it was so rough, every time I would, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go, but like, it would be so much better if I had my mom to be like, oh babe, you're gonna do good, you'll be fine, just have your head on your shoulders and everything like that. And I understand that I've always been a different type of child. I've always been interested in different things and curious. And I don't think she ever expected that from her child. But sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. But yeah, not being able to talk to her about it and everything, like, had a toll on me. And it was making me sad because I was so stressed and I was so anxious, and I was like, I really want her to be, supportive, and it was just too much. So even though I quit my job and I moved and everything is, on track, the only thing that was missing was the support from my mom. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, there's a happy ending. Sorry. Anyway, it was so weird. I haven't talked to my mom about my whole decision about moving and traveling the world for a while, ever since, she would always brush it off. And then finally one morning, I called her and I was like, I just kind of like said, yeah, I only have like so much time before I leave and everything. And I don't know if she had a moment or a glitch, but she was like, oh yeah, that's good. And I was like, yes, it is good. And she started like asking more questions about my plans and everything that I was doing and what was next and when I was leaving. And it threw me off, but I was so excited. I tell you, like, I cried like on my way to work and called my friend, and I was like, oh my God, I think my mom is on board with this whole traveling thing. I told her that I'll be leaving September, but I'll be coming down to stay with her for a week before I fly out. And we were just talking about everything that we'd probably be doing when I come down, and everything. And I don't know, it made me feel so happy that we were just having a normal conversation about my plans and what was going on. And there was no like, you're not going, we're still talking about this. It was just refreshing. So now that my mom is on board, I am more excited than ever, and I cannot wait to go on this journey, share all my moments and experiences with her, and I don't know, I'm just so excited. It was so nerve-wracking not being able to tell her or have a conversation with her before, and I am so excited and so happy, beyond belief, and I don't know, I'm just really excited. And I'm so excited. So when I come back, I decided, my mom has never really been anywhere besides Naples, Miami, and Haiti back in the day. She's never really traveled. And my plan when I come back is to take us on a mother-daughter trip to Paris. This will just be my way of saying thank you and being understanding with my decision about traveling, and I cannot wait to come back just to take her on that trip, and I'm so excited. My advice to you guys, if you are having any issues with trying to tell your parent or parents about anything that you're wanting to be doing, just do it. I do regret not telling her sooner and keeping my past trips, from her. But at the end of the day, parents are just, worried about their kids and want to make sure that they're making the right decision and don't make, any mistakes. And I appreciate that to the fullest. But don't be afraid to tell your parents, just tell them, and they will, surprise you. They may not like in the beginning, but eventually they'll come around. And I'm so happy that my mom decided to come around. Anyway, that's all I had, you guys. Thank you for sticking around. If you did stick around to the end of this video, please take a second to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.